Tom, this is for you. Smaller cities than Kelowna have major convention centers that help draw people to their communities while also providing residents with a large gathering place. Is Kelowna missing out by not having a conference center like Nanaimo and Victoria?
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Okay, this is for you, Bob. What is your plan for homeless management?
Homeless management, as I touched upon a little bit earlier, is we have to recognize there's two distinct groups, those that are willing to work with the system, good programs like Journey Home and so on, and we have to support them and pull them out of the spiral of life on the street. But at the same time, we have to recognize there's the other group that is not acceptable, and their way of life, they themselves, they are not welcome here in this community. And once again, it's the petty crime that's an antisocial behavior which has made our downtown deplorable. And there has to be some affordable housing. I'm not so sure about shipping containers as somebody has suggested, but affordable housing, nonetheless, that should be scattered about the city and is presentable for all neighborhoods and so on. But it's a big topic, and I have a lot of details, but time constraints. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Okay, Bobby, this is for you. RCMP versus the local police. Are you in favor of a review to see if there is cost savings and more accountability with a local police force instead of the national force?
You should educate yourself on shipping container homes, because I bet you'd want to live in one. They're beautiful. First of all, when it comes to the police, I absolutely believe this community should be safe. Everybody should feel safe wherever they go. It doesn't even matter if it's our community. Anywhere you go in this world, we're coming together. We're going to start working together to be safe. What I think is that we actually do have enough police. I just don't think that they're maybe being used in the correct way. You know, I see a lot of guys cruising around their patrol car, head down on the computer. Dude's trying to catch you on your cell phone. So why don't we get some of these guys out of the car, onto their feet, onto bicycles. You know, you go to New York, you know, you go to Central Park, you guys riding around on horses. You got guys taking photos of those guys. You know, so the police are absolutely a very special part of the community. People look to them for safety. You know, sometimes people say, oh, I don't like those guys, but I'm sure if they needed them, they'd really want them there. So what I think we do is that we actually have enough. We got a $48 million police station, and if you're telling me that we don't have enough bodies in there to keep this community safe, then I'm going to say that I fully disagree with you.
Thank you, Bobby. So over to you, Colin. How will you support implementation and follow through on the strategy, the Journey Home strategy?
Excellent, thank you. Well, the answer is we already are. So, for example, the Journey Home strategy calls for 300 supportive housing units to be built in our community in the next 5 years. Well, guess what? We're going to open up 88 of those to get 88 people off of our streets in the next couple of months. This is where relationships with higher levels of government come into play. I have a great relationship right now with the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, and as a result of that, we're working with BC Housing right now to work on another 100 supportive housing spaces for our community to come online next year. So we're already, we're going to house more than half of those people on our streets with units to be built in the next 2 years. And so I think that we are already implementing the Journey Home strategy, but we've got to continue to do what we can to move it forward. The other thing I want to talk about is continuing to advocate with higher levels of government for the support spaces needed. So we get people housed with supports, but we've got to make sure that the support is there for rehabilitation, for detox, for drug therapy treatment, so that when they're ready to take even further steps to better their lives, that we wrap them with the supports that they need. So I am really proud of the community and how we've come together, the great social service agencies we have in our community, a number of business stakeholders. To put the Journey Home strategy together, it was one of the largest public engagement processes in our city's history, and we've made a plan, and now we're implementing it, and I'm proud of that.
Thank you, Colin.
Like I said before, my name is Bobby Kennedy. I've owned a business in this community for about 8 years, born here in 1985. Got a family, I got 2 kids. I'm not leaving. The reason I step up in here to run for mayor is maybe not because you got the best chance, but the sign of true leadership is when there's no position on the line. It's when you stand up to give what you got, to tell the people the ideas you got, and I can assure you we have a whole bunch of them, and they all start with making money, not asking for money, okay? So if you guys actually want to have a community that just attracts businesses, gives you the opportunity to even invest in them, watch them grow in your backyard, keep students here, gets a cultural rejuvenation going on in this city, then I'm the candidate to vote for. And there's only 2 people on this stage right now that actually have started a business in this community. That's myself and this guy, okay? So when the city of Kelowna wants to continue to tout that we're the best place for entrepreneurs, maybe that's because there's actually no jobs here, you know? So maybe once we start bringing some industry to this town, start supplying some jobs for the people, start just doing a whole lot of things that is more than building a city with just buildings. You build cities with people, you build community with people, you house people with buildings. Don't forget that. Vote Bobby Kennedy, October 20th.
Thank you, Bobby. Go ahead, Tom, when you're ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, in closing, I would like to thank the Chamber for hosting today's forum. I believe a good mayor needs to have a clear vision, both a short and long-term vision, and must be able to execute upon that vision. As a mayor and leader, I would also believe that you have to be able to work with a team that includes council, city staff, and members of our community. I believe you have to hold your team accountable and be accountable to them, both in your professional and personal life as a leader of this great city. Recently, I was able to establish a vision and plan which would result in the economic impact of our city to $15 to $20 million. Our team executed the plan, and I led the team to a winning Memorial Cup bid, all within a short 4-month period. I now have a vision for our city, an all-inclusive community which will be open and transparent, where the neighborhood associations, community organizations, as well as businesses will be included in decisions that affect them through the process of public engagement. The vision also includes relocating City Hall. On this land, we would construct a performing arts center, a conference facility, and additional community amenities where we can celebrate the benefits of this gift land together. At the new City Hall site, we would relocate the Water Street Fire Hall and include a social housing project. Also, I have a community partner who have come forwards and are willing to fund a ranch for the homeless where they could receive shelter, healing, and hope. Finally, I believe that our community has reached a critical mass, and at this time, we reassess the financial viability of forming our own independent police service. This will show the city's commitment to helping shoulder the responsibilities of our community. On October 20th, I would be humbled and honored to earn your support and become your mayor so we can execute upon this vision together. Together, we can do better. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom. Over to you, Colin.
Thank you. And he's going to do all that and spend less money. So it's going to require vision and experienced leadership if we're going to make meaningful change now and for our future generations. Making unrealistic promises and saying anything in order to garner votes, leaving it all to figure out later with no clear vision, is not the way to run our city better. This Trump style of politicking threatens to undo all the good work we've done together. And for what? I imagine our city having a strong, resilient, multi-sector economy where our kids can build fulfilling careers. I see a place that continues to invest in its protective services in order to remove those from our streets who prey on our most vulnerable and to keep us safe. I imagine a community that rallies together to ensure everyone has a roof over their heads at night and is able to provide the necessary supports and services to someone when they need it. I see a city at the forefront of protecting our beautiful, natural environment, dealing with the realities of climate change by directing growth into our town centers instead of increasing urban sprawl. I see continued investment in a balanced transportation network that will see the advancement of key road connections while continuing to provide viable alternatives to move about our city more efficiently. I imagine a city with a thriving arts and culture scene that everyone can enjoy. And I will always imagine and work to make Kelowna an inclusive and accepting community because diversity is what makes us stronger. But strong leadership is required to make sure this happens. Leading means making the tough decisions to better our entire community. So on October 20th, I would appreciate your support so we can continue to keep moving Kelowna forward together. Thank you.
Well, that brings us to the end of the session today, and I consider myself to have had 2 successes tonight. One is not spilling any food down my tie, which I was very conscious of, but 2, how easy you've made it on me today. So thank you so much for coming out today. I wish you all the best.